So I thought I'd kind of go over my truck and how I set it up to do this truck camping. So kind of a background on this. I actually had been thinking about going to a truck camper for about 2 years before I bought this truck and truck camper. But I was going to have to upgrade to a dually because, well, there was a couple reasons I wanted to upgrade to a dually. It's just more stable, especially with a truck camper. And then I have a big trailer to pull the Jeeps on. I just wanted it's just more stable. And it is. When we went to Moab, I was very, very impressed. So anyway, I'd been thinking about it for a couple years. Of course, you always wonder if it's something that, you know, if I buy it, am I going to really like it? And after having it for almost a year and using it a lot this year, I love it. I think it was the best decision I made. Super happy with it. So before this, previously before I got the truck camper, I had a toy hauler and I had a turtleback trailer, which is a smaller trailer with a rooftop tent that you can pull behind my Jeeps. And that was fine, that worked good. The toy hauler was nice because it was a little more comfortable. The only thing I could take in it was my dirt bikes or four-wheelers. When I bought it, I had a side-by-side, but I sold it. So anyway, I kind of been thinking about going that route because then I could just pull whatever I had behind the truck. And so finally last year, I think it was in September, I ended up buying the truck, and then right as soon as I got the truck bought, then I got rid of my other two trailers and bought the truck camper. And honestly, it was the best decision I made. I've been using it a lot this year, and I love it. So, been able to pull my Jeep sometimes. It's nice when you go out just with the truck camper, it's just smaller. Like where I'm at here, there's no way I'd want to pull a big trailer in. Well, you couldn't pull a big trailer in here. You have to watch for the height and the sides, but I can get into places a lot easier than I could with a trailer. So I'm really happy with it. I mean, you're still limited to some degree versus, you know, something smaller than this even, but it's working good, really good for me at this point. So what I ended up buying was a 2024 Ford F450. I kind of went with the 450. I actually really like the looks of them with the wider axle. And I've always driven Dodge before, but you could get the 450 and you had a pickup bed. And I've mentioned that in other videos. So that was one of the big determining factors to go to the Ford 450, or the Ford F450. And then I also had bigger brakes, which definitely is a plus. So I decided I wanted to get a little more height, which I tend to put bigger tires on everything I have, but I want a little more height because it just didn't have a lot of ground clearance, especially on the front. We have the spoiler thing underneath. I don't know, I guess that's what you call it. Wind dampener, I don't know, whatever it is. It didn't sit off the ground very far. So I decided, I was looking at either lifting it or leveling it. And when we got looking into it, the problem I would have if I lifted it, then you swap out the rear suspension, I lose my payload. And I didn't want to do that. And I'd done enough research, I knew I could run a 37, just leveling it. So that's the direction I went. And I'm super glad that's the way I went, because it's already tall with that camper on the top of it. So that would have just put it up even higher. And I kept my payload. I ended up putting a Carly, I think it was backcountry leveling kit on it. So far as the wheels and the tires, I went with a Toyo MT 37 1250 and a DDC wheel. They make dually wheels. Found some that I really liked. I actually, when I started looking for wheels, I was looking at some that I found that I liked. I liked the style and liked the way they looked, but when I started looking at the price, I could not believe how expensive they were. They were the first ones I started looking at were $10,000 to $12,000 for a set, or for a set. And I'm like, I'm not paying that much. So I looked around and I found these, and they're actually a really good quality wheel. It looks super good for less than half the price. Still expensive, but not completely ridiculous. So that kind of got me the height that I'd like. And actually, the other reason I kind of wanted to go that route is it actually gives it a little bit better ride between doing the leveling kit, and then just the tires have a little bit more sidewall. I went with a 22-inch wheel. I was between 20 and a 22, and my son kept saying, go bigger, bigger. So I just went with the 22, which I'm happy with them. I the wheels that came on were a 19.5, so there wasn't a lot of sidewall on them anyway. The problem with those wheels is, or those tires, is they're very rigid for weight and for highway use, but they're horrible off road. So this kind of gives you a compromise in between. I still got the ability to put the weight that I haul. I mean, you can definitely haul more with those other wheels or other tires. They're going to be better for that. But for what I'm doing, it works great. And it's definitely a lot better ride off road. And being bigger, I've been in a couple spots where there's a little bit of washboard, but the tires are big enough you didn't notice that much. In fact, my brother, he has a Dodge chassis truck, an older one, with the stock tires on it, and he was like, "Man, the washboards were horrible coming in." And I was like, I didn't even remember them being washboards. So when I was going, I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess they are. They're just the bigger tire helped." If you get big enough washboards, it doesn't matter. But on a lot of situations, they've worked really good. And then, so I think that pretty much takes care of what I've done on the outside. Haven't done a ton. I did put a bed liner in it after I got it. Oh, and I did wrap. There's a clear protective coat on the front of it to kind of help with rock chips, and then the dually fenders are all covered in that to kind of help keep or protect it from rocks. So anyway, maybe we'll take a look at the inside. I haven't done a lot of inside. This is mostly just going to show you kind of how I've got it set up for what I'm, to make it work right now for what I'm doing. I may change some things down the way, but this was easy to start off with, and it's working really good right now. And we'll just kind of go along, and if I feel like I need to make some changes along the way, I will.
One other thing I thought I'd mention too is running an extension like this, you kind of want to have a little bit of ground clearance. Otherwise, that thing sits really close to the ground. I've seen them where they're not very far off the ground. So if you go over any bumps or anything, or any hills, or you have a better tendency of dragging them. So that was another reason why I kind of wanted a little clearance, so it would keep that up off the ground, further. So going to bigger tires definitely helped that. So this is kind of the inside. So mine is a limited, so it is loaded, and I actually really like it. But yeah, the seats are really comfortable in this. And we drove clear down to Moab, and I think it was a 10-hour day, 9-10-hour day. Super comfortable to ride in. But so it's pretty loaded. Though, if you can see right here, I got this, which came with a camper, and that actually has a rear facing camera on the back of the camper. So that's kind of nice. I just set it in and just plug it in down here, and it's worked really good. At first I didn't even have it hooked up because I couldn't figure out how to make it work, because the dealer just like, "Here it is, figure it out." And I couldn't figure it out, so I called the manufacturer of the screen, and they're like, "Well, you got to have your park lights on." So if you end up getting one and you can't figure out how to make it work, at least for most of them, you got to have your clearance lights or park lights on, and then it works fine. But so, and then I just keep my camera gear and stuff right here. So not a whole lot of stuff here. This does come with a lot of extra stuff. So like up here, I've got switches I could add, like fog lights, or any type of accessories, and have a switch right there for it. Which I haven't done any of that. I don't know if I will. Somewhere along the way, maybe. So let's check out the back. So here's the back. I keep this on the seat for Gus. That just kind of protects my seat. And then on this side, I always like to keep a little bit of firewood with me in case I get in an area that I can't find firewood really easy. Most places I go, it's not an issue, but once in a while it can be. And then also during the winter time, I want stuff that's dry. A lot of times in the winter it's just all wet. So but anyway, I have this little brown bag that I bought when I was camping out on my Jeeps, and I just put the wood in there, and then I wrap this towel over just so it's not rubbing on my seat. And then I do have some compartment under the seat just comes that way. I'm able to keep a few things down under there too. Now if we switch over to this other side, so on this side, down in front of the seat, I carry my chair. I have those two tables that go in the back. I have them there, and then down underneath there I keep some tools in case I need any. And then, which you can't see, but underneath this bag here, kind of up there, I do have an ARB air compressor, just in case I need it. And I actually carry some plugs, but anyway, I keep that just in case something happens, and hopefully that'll work. So that kind of covers what I've done, which I haven't done a ton, but this is kind of how I've got it set up, and it works good. Works really good for me right now. I don't know if somewhere down the way I'll do something different than this. But it's nice having the seat there. I know some guys will take the seats out and stuff, and I thought about just building a platform that would kind of, put the seat up and build me a little platform, and I may do that down the way. I don't know for sure yet. But for right now, this is actually working really good, and then if I need to, I can just pull the stuff out and I have the back seat. So, one other thing I did, which you kind of have to when you have the camper, but is the attachments to hook the camper on, so I had to have that installed.
So anyway, that's kind of my setup for now anyway. One thing I did forget to mention is I did put some mud flaps on the back. I think they're called Trigger Industries, was the company. And anyway, I put those on there, just pulling trailers and stuff, just so I don't rock chip everything, and then also help protect the back of the truck and the camper and just everything. And so those have been nice, because I've been in some mud pretty good, and you just don't get the mud all over everything. I had some for the front, but there just wasn't enough room with not being lifted. I might be able to have some custom top part of the mud flap made to make it work, but I haven't looked into that. So anyway, that's kind of what I have. And I don't know, honestly, this has been the best setup I've ever had. Really like it. Super comfortable. I actually look forward to just getting out here. I've always looked forward to getting out here, but this just makes it super easy to be able to come out more often, and super comfortable while you're here. And I actually really look forward to coming out on the weekends, and hopefully over time I can come out even more. But anyway, that's all I got for you today, and we'll see you on the next one.